Straight up. Glory to God. Welcome back to your Way Happy Bible Study. We're in Revelation chapter 13. We're talking about the Antichrist, New World Order, and the satanically empowered beast, Pope, snake in a dress. Stay Puffed, the destroyer. He's really a piece of work. We're in verse 9 of chapter 13 in Revelation. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Many of you are new here, and so I'm going to give you a scripture that I have shown to those that have been learning here a long time, but it's very enlightening, okay? The hearing ear and the seeing eye. The Lord hath made both of them. So when it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear, you don't have an ear unless he's given you one. Let me show you. The hearing ear. I'm going to go over here to my concordance. It's really important that you use a concordance while you're studying. Okay, that will help you find scriptures that you're looking for. Proverbs 20:12. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord hath made even both of them. Only the children of God, born with the temple inside them, saved from their first breath all the way to their last, have a hearing ear and a seeing eye. He does not give that to the wicked. Doesn't give that to the children of evil. So when you see the term in, like you do in verse 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He says that to all the churches as well, the letters to the churches earlier in Revelation chapters 2 and 3, because what he's saying is, let the children of God hear and let the wicked not hear. Okay? So he's saying, if any man have an ear, let him hear. That doesn't just mean you have ears on your head. That means, as in Proverbs 20:12 says, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord hath made even both of them. So you only have a hearing ear and a seeing eye if you are a child of God, and he has given that to you. Okay? Now notice in verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You have to be a child of God to be in captivity. The wicked aren't in captivity. They are following their father like they're supposed to. So if you go into captivity as a child of God, or you lead others into captivity as a child of God because you haven't studied enough, or you're teaching something that you don't quite understand, if you're leading others, people into captivity, you're going to go into that captivity yourself. But captivity, remember, is not going to hell. Jesus said, Jesus came to set the captives free. All right? So you're talking about children of God here. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. The wicked are not in captivity. They are following their father like they're supposed to. You can only be in captivity if you're a child of God and deceived. Okay? He that killeth with the sword, must be killed with the sword. During this time, during the tribulation period, if the children of God defend themselves with weapons, you're probably, it says you will be killed with weapons. If you kill with the sword to preserve your own life, you're going to be killed with the sword. If you shoot somebody with a gun to preserve your own life, you're going to be shot with a gun. He says here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You have to follow the rules during the tribulation period. You can't kill people to preserve you and your family's lives. Like if somebody's got food and you don't, and you kill them and take their food, that's very unbecoming a child of God. But when people panic, they don't think. They don't think. And when their existence is threatened, even the children of God do really stupid things. And so he's saying, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. You've got to follow the rules as you go through the tribulation period. You have to do no harm. You have to love people. Share what you've got. You have to help others stand. Feed lambs. Help others stand. You can't lead others into captivity without going into it yourself. And you can't defend yourself with weapons and hurt other people, or else that's going to be that's how you're going to die. Okay? And you don't want to be killed with a sword or with a gun. You want to stand all the way to your death for Jesus. So here is the patience and the faith of the saints. We are like sheep for the slaughter during the tribulation period. That's just how it is. It is what it is. Okay? The patience and the faith of the saints. You have to obey the rules while you're trying to get through it alive. In verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now this one is probably the false prophet. He looks like a lamb. He looks like a good guy. He looks like a false prophet. He looks like the real thing, but he's not. Okay? Has two horns like a lamb, but he speaks like a dragon. And this could be your Pope as well. Okay? The Antichrist Pope. Because you're looking at a beast, which is a new world order, a system. And then you're looking at a satanically empowered Pope. And this other beast, this could be the false prophet, but it could also be talking about the Antichrist as well. Because previously you're looking at a system as the beast. And now here you have another beast coming up out of the earth. He has two horns like a lamb and speaks like a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him. See, that the Pope is given the power and seat and authority of Satan. Remember, it told us that in verse 4. Verse 4. Yeah, the dragon gives his power unto the beast, which is the first beast is a system. It's like a new world order. Then you have a man, okay, who rises up. He's got two horns like a lamb, so he looks so harmless. He looks holy, but he speaks like a dragon. And Pope Francis already does that. In verse 12, he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him. So this could be where the snake in a dress, Pope, is in charge. He's been given Satan's seat and power and authority. So he's exercising the power of the first beast before him, which would be the New World Order and the satanically, the the seat of Satan and its great authority that was given to him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, which is the system headed by Satan. Satan is the dragon, the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So we're looking at either the false prophet here, or we're looking at the Antichrist. There's really three, because there's a beast system. There's the man who runs the beast system, which would be the Antichrist. Okay. And then you also have a false prophet. And the false prophet would be the Jewish high priest. Okay. So in verse 12, he says, he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him. So if this could be the false prophet, and causeth the earth and them which dwelleth therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Resurrection really has an effect on them, doesn't it? In verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. He can do lying wonders, fake miracles. These are not real wonders and miracles. These are fake. We know how this could be accomplished with technology. The man makes fire come down from heaven and the earth in the sight of men. Well, all that is him putting on a show, and somebody who's got control of technology pushing a button at his cue to where a satellite fires onto the earth right there where he's talking. And people think, oh, he did that. It's lying wonders. Lying wonders, remember that. But he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And this is probably the false prophet. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Now this is either in the sight of the satanically possessed pope, is possible, okay? Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Now Jesus Christ, according to the word, is the image of the invisible God. That means his counterpart would be a man who is the image of Satan. So what that means is Jesus was the image of the invisible God. That means he was a body that the invisible God was occupying. Okay? Now, it's the same thing with Satan. There's a body in which Satan is occupying it. And that would be the Pope. Okay? And it says here, he deceiveth them on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Can you imagine how the Jews would react if their high priest was to suggest an image being put in the temple? In verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Well, that's just technology. Okay? It says he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. This is some kind of it could be a hologram. It could be some kind of a statue that talks. This is some kind of a supercomputer that is attached to this thing. Because if you will not bow down and worship that image, it issues a warrant for your arrest and execution. So as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. No child of God is going to do it, is ever going to take the mark or worship the image of the beast. And as a matter of fact, when the image is set up in the temple, the Jews freak out and run for their lives. And we saw that they're lifted airlifted out on airplanes this time. They're not fleeing on foot. They're lifted out on airplanes. So in 15, he has power to give life unto the image of the beast. Well, that's just technology, okay? Or it could be Satan inhabiting this image. It's possible. Any of these options are possible. In verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, that's everybody, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now, this is a man, okay, that we're talking about right here. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And the children of God will not take it. The children of evil will. And that is how he's able to identify the children of God during that time. In verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. It's the number of a man. And his number is 666. That's 666. Now the Pope, his title is Filii Vicarius Filii Dei. And if you match Roman numerals to his title, it's 666. So every pope, his title is 666. That's the Vatican. Okay? The enemy. But this number is for a man. The 666 fits the Pope who is a king. And it's fit all of them. But the 8th is the one who is the son of perdition. Okay? His number is 666. And his title, Vicarius Filii Dei, D-E-I, adds up to 666. Now, we're going to go into Revelation chapter 14. We have covered 13, and let me go see if anybody has any questions. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Great to see all of you. I'm so glad that you're here. So glad that you came to study with us. I don't really see any questions at this time on Facebook. And let's see. Let's go over here to YouTube. Wow, there's a bunch of you guys on YouTube here. Hi. I'm so glad to see all of you. Heath, Cheryl, Vonda. Hi, Vonda. Hello, Cheryl. Now, Cheryl's asking, Lisa, do you think our pets come with us? Pets there are animals there. There are animals there. When the evacuation takes place, it is as it was in the days of Noah. So it is entirely possible that there are animals who will also be evacuated. The Lord wants to keep the animals alive like he did on Noah's Ark and bring them back. Now, our individual pets, they are a different type of flesh than we are. They are recreatable. Okay, your pet is easily recreated in heaven for you. You will have your pets if that is what is going to make you happy. Okay, he's our Father. He wants to please us. He gave them to you here because he wanted you to have them, and he's entrusted you to love them and take care of them. He's also going to give them back there if that is what would please you. Okay, he's a wonderful Father, and he gives us pets. He's not going to rip those pets away from us in eternity if you want to have them, if you want to keep them. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that they would go with you at the time you're evacuated, but they might. It's possible. It's possible. Because there are animals there. We know that. Okay. Let's get into chapter 14. Well, let me scroll down here and see if anybody else has questions. Oh, Anne went to Israel. That's wonderful. I loved Israel when I went. I'm looking to see if there's any questions. Oh, hi, Angela. I'm so glad to see you, sister. Hi, Eleanor, Shirley, all of you. I'm so glad to see all of you. And Anne, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I don't see any other questions right now. Let's go straight on into Revelation chapter 14. And we're going to take a closer look at the 144,000. Now, the 144,000 are referenced in Revelation chapter 7. Okay, if you look at chapter 7, and we've already done this chapter, but I'm going to remind you, boogie over to Revelation chapter 7 and look at verse 4. Actually 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. Now, this is an angel that comes and seals the 144,000. They are Jews, young, virgin, Jewish, probably Torah students. Okay? And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. These 144,000 are not Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not Mormons. They are Jews, and they are from 12,000 of each of the 12 tribes, and it goes on to show us the tribe of Judah, 12,000, Reuben, 12,000, Gad, 12,000, Asher, 12,000, and on through the sons of Jacob. Now, in Revelation chapter 14, in verse 1, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. Okay? So Jesus is here. He has 144,000. His father's name is written in their foreheads. The angel has sealed them immediately after the evacuation. And if you will notice in some of the other versions of the Bible, like several of the corrupted versions, like the NASB and the NIV, this verse in particular says having his name and his father's name written in their foreheads. That has an extra name in some of the corrupted versions. But if you're using a KJV, that is the most reliable version in English, okay? And it says here, having his father's name written in their foreheads. This is the seal that they got in chapter 7. In verse 2, and I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders, that no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. Now these are Jews. In verse 4, these are they which were not defiled with women. See, they're virgins, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. When we come back, we're going to start again in Revelation chapter 14 and verse 4 right after